Friends, get ready to explore all the awesome features, perks, and quirks of Love Day, Harvestfest, Winterfest, and New Year's Eve in The Sims 4. But before we jump into it, just some general holiday info. Holidays are made up of traditions, and these are fully customizable by jumping into your calendar, clicking on the day they fall on, and choosing to edit them. So if you don't like a tradition or you want to change it to something else, then you totally can, with a maximum of 5 traditions allowed for one holiday. Now, how many traditions your sim completes determines how successful of a holiday your sim will have, and a sim's life stage or age, their traits, as well as other factors, such as relationship status for Love Day, will determine how much they like or don't like individual traditions. If the tradition is grayed out, the sim won't partake in that tradition, and for the sim it's essentially like it doesn't even exist. If a tradition has no background, then it's neutral, and if it has a heart behind it, then it's a loved tradition, and completing it will count for more than usual in terms of having a successful holiday. Note that from my experience, traits override age. For example, if a sim would ignore a tradition due to their life state, like being a toddler, then if they also have a trait that would make them love that tradition, then the love of the tradition is what will appear on it. As you complete traditions, your sim's holiday bar will change. For major holidays, if you don't partake and your sim's icon doesn't change, then you'll get nothing at the end besides a sad +1 moodlet for 12 hours. If you perform enough traditions to make them a bit happier in their icon, then they'll get 250 satisfaction points and a 12-hour +2 happy moodlet. And if you go further and their icon has rays of light behind it, then you'll gain 500 satisfaction points and a 12-hour +3 happy moodlet. Finally, know that holidays start at 6 AM and finish at 2 AM the following morning. Now let's kick things off with Love Day. Because we love love, this holiday has 3 traditions, being romantic spirit, giving flowers, and going on a date. Romantic sims will love the traditions on this holiday, and sims can also love many of the traditions simply from being in a romantic relationship when the holiday takes place. Toddlers will ignore every tradition this holiday has, and child sims will only be able to give flowers for this holiday. But for your other sims, it's fair game. Starting with romantic spirit, this is easily checked off by successfully performing romantic interactions. You'll need to do a few to complete this tradition. For giving flowers, you can use a computer or the shopping section of your phone to purchase gifts, and then you'll want to find and buy flowers such as a rose or tulip. Then choose to give a Love Day gift to a sim and hand over that stunning flower in order to complete the tradition. The final tradition is to go on a date, and you can ask sims on a date within romantic interactions. Note that even if you end the date a minute after starting, it will still complete the tradition. Also, if your date is a little flirty, then know that you can always complete the first 2 traditions while on your date as well. But Love Day isn't just about love, it's also about chaos. And if you know of any sims in happy relationships, then you'll be able to use the mailbox on Love Day to send a forged breakup letter to a sim. While not guaranteed, this actually has a chance to break up a couple, and you'll be notified of the outcome of your rather evil act shortly after. Now we're moving on to Harvestfest, which is similar to Thanksgiving. This holiday has 4 traditions, being Decorate, Grand Meal, Thankful Spirit, and Holiday Gnomes. Family-oriented sims in particular love this holiday, and they will love every tradition bar the gnomes. Meanwhile, sims who are goofballs, erratic, or mean will love the gnomes. Teenagers don't care about the grand meal, while child sims only care about the gnomes. Meanwhile, toddlers don't care about the holiday at all. To complete the Decorate tradition, your sims will need to buy the Attic Stack decoration box. Then simply click on it and select holiday decorations before decorating an element of your home for Harvestfest. Note that completing this for one sim will often complete it for other applicable sims in the household. As a side note, the decoration box is also quite the money printing machine, as you can choose to rummage in the box for decorations, which will appear around the box free of charge and which can be sold for a few hundred simoleons. It almost feels like cheating. You can also sabotage decorations, but I'll talk about that a little later on when we look at New Year's Eve. Now let's move on to Grand Meal, which you can get your sims to start whipping up by clicking on the stove or fridge and selecting to cook a grand meal. Cooking the grand meal itself won't complete the tradition, but rather sabotaging it, calling Sims to the grand meal, as well as Sims eating the grand meal will complete this. It should be known that you can have Sims sing to the grand meal, if that appeals to you. Or if your Sim is at least level 2 mischief, then they can even sabotage it by adding in spicy peppers, stomach meds, or yuck fruits. Sabotaging the food will make your Sim playful, and depending on how you sabotage it, Sims who eat it will be affected in different ways. Sabotaging a meal with spicy peppers makes Sims uncomfortable and breathe fire for a bit. Sabotaging with stomach meds is potentially the most cruel, as it makes Sims uncomfortable and lowers their bladder very quickly for the duration of the moodlet, often making them pee their pants, and sometimes more than once. And sabotaging with yuck fruits will cause Sims to become uncomfortable before running to the toilet to hurl. Also not the nicest thing to do to others, but yay holiday spirit. Of course, you can just have a nice day and eat food that isn't sabotage, should that be your thing. Moving on to Thankful Spirit, which is a very easy tradition to complete. And for this, all you need to do is perform friendly Harvestfest interactions with other Sims, such as being thankful, as well as sharing Harvestfest spirit. Finally, we have the holiday gnomes, and these little gnomes sure can be tricky. One quick thing to know is that any gnomes you buy yourself will act exactly like those in the event, which can lead to lots of chaos. This tradition will see gnomes spawn which you must appease. Now if you want to, then sometimes Sims are able to kick gnomes in order to complete this tradition. But do note that this might not be the best idea, as all of the remaining gnomes will get angry and chase you around with teleports while leaving trash around your home and breaking various appliances. You'll also lose the ability to appease them and make them happy. Of course, you can just kick down the horde of angry gnomes if you wanted to, but know that child and teenager Sims will lose empathy by doing this if you have the Parenthood Gang Pack. Now you can appease the gnomes by choosing to give them one of 6 gifts, being coffee, fruitcake, a future cube, pie, salad, and a toy. However, know that different gnomes like different things. Giving them the wrong gift will make them angry and start causing chaos, but giving them the right gift will cause a halo to appear above their head, and the gnome will start leaving seasonal seed packets around your lot too. Yes, truly loving how helpful they can be. So which gnomes like what? The ghastly gnome likes fruitcake, the space-themed gnome likes the future cube, and the naked pixelated gnome, as well as the poolside gnome, can both be appeased with a toy. Meanwhile, the rabbit-looking gnome, as well as the one holding a tree stump platter, both can be appeased with salad. The barely gnome, werewolf gnome, and the Grim Reaper-looking gnome can be appeased with pie. And for every other gnome you come across, of which there are quite a few, they can all be appeased with coffee. It can be an incredibly chaotic holiday tradition, but it's also one that can lead to quite a bit of fun. And now it's time for presents with Winterfest. There are 5 Winterfest traditions, being Decorate, Festive Spirit, Open Presents, Grand Meal, and Father Winter. Once again, family-oriented Sims in particular love this holiday, and they'll love every tradition except for Father Winter. Teenagers will love opening presents, as will child Sims, who will also love the Father Winter tradition. On the flip side, child Sims won't care about decorating or the grand meal, and teenagers also don't care about the grand meal. Toddlers don't care about decorating, the festive spirit, or the grand meal, but they love opening presents as well as Father Winter. Now decorating is done exactly the same way as Harvestfest, only now you're decorating for Winterfest. For festive spirit, friendly holiday-related social interactions, like sharing Winterfest spirit or excitement, or singing about Winterfest, as well as asking if good or bad, will complete this tradition. Now, another way to complete festive spirit is to buy and interact with a holiday tree, either by admiring or decorating it. And note that decorating a tree as a group can be very cute. Sims can even sabotage trees, but this just makes the tree look a bit sad. And it's worth noting that you can also place present piles under a tree and also add them to the pile of presents objects, which ties in with the next tradition being to open presents. This is very easily actioned either from presents you've added underneath your tree or alternatively the pile of presents object. Sims can add to the pile of presents object and they can also open presents from it. getting a random assortment of knickknacks. Note that Sims with at least level 3 mischief can replace a present with a prank gift, with the next Sim to open a present from the pile getting something they probably wish they hadn't. Just like decorating, present opening can be done as a group and can be quite a bit of fun. A side note is that another easy way to complete this tradition is to give another Sim a Winterfest gift. And doing this will complete the tradition for the Sim who gave the present. Next is Grand Meal, but I won't go over this again as it's exactly the same as in Harvestfest. Finally, we have the Father Winter tradition, and this legend pops up at your lot from around 8 PM, and if you have a fireplace, he will come in and leave through it. Father Winter will autonomously add to present piles, but why be satisfied with just that? You can complete this tradition by being kind and asking Father Winter for a present, or decide to cause chaos and fight him for one. That's right, complete the tradition by bashing him and make sure that you get something good. As a quick side note, if you seduce Father Winter and have him move in with you, then he brings a rather hefty 500,000 simoleons. And if you have a baby with him, then the child will get a bonus trait called Father Winter's Baby, which increases satisfaction point gain from once by 50%. It's time to move on to the final major holiday, being New Year's Eve. And this one has 4 traditions, being to decorate, to have some party spirit, to make New Year's resolutions, and the countdown to midnight. Teenagers love the countdown, as do children. Toddlers, on the other hand, don't engage with this holiday whatsoever. Now, decorating is done exactly the same way as Harvestfest and Winterfest. Only, of course, you're decorating your house for New Year's Eve. And I promised we'd talk about sabotaging those decorations. If your Sim is at least level 2 mischief, then they'll be able to sabotage decoration boxes. Once performed, another Sim will then get the option to investigate the tampered box, and when they do this, then they'll be electrocuted. It's definitely not the decorating experience that one would want. Party Spirit is another relatively easy tradition to complete. Simply needing your Sim to have a drink or even a dance, play an instrument, or even flirting, telling jokes, and festive singing will help complete this. Lots of options. Next is making a resolution, which is a rather fun tradition to partake in. This can be actioned from having your own Sim click on themselves and selecting Make a Resolution. Here, Sims can choose from a range of different tasks, such as raising a skill, getting promoted, or writing a book, plus many more. And then your Sim will have 7 days to complete this task, in which doing so will see them gain 100 satisfaction points and a positive moodlet. Note that simply making the resolution will complete the tradition. Finally, there's the countdown to midnight. To partake in this, simply click on your television after 11 PM and choose to watch the countdown. Doing so will see fireworks spring from the TV at midnight, with Sims who watched getting a happy moodlet. Now, if you don't want to watch the countdown in peace, then know that you'll be able to sabotage the TV for the New Year's Eve countdown, essentially turning it off mid-broadcast. This gives the sabotaging Sim a playful moodlet, but will damage their relationship with surrounding Sims, who will understandably be annoyed and be given a tense moodlet. It should also be noted that there will be a more general New Year's channel on television during this holiday too. A quick side note is that if you have city living, then you can also add the fireworks tradition to this holiday if you want to. And it can fit in rather well. And with that, we're at the end. That's a complete guide to all of the major holidays in The Sims 4. If you enjoyed or found this helpful, then please subscribe and leave a like. I would really appreciate it. And have an amazing day. See you later.